Here we go. Perfect. Okay, where's my chart? I've got too many tabs open. There we go. We'll just get the link in the chat. Boom. Not like that. Live here. Perfect. Hello, hope everyone's doing well. Hello, Luke. Hello, Light Always. Yeah, Matthew. Very, very sideways. Okay, cool, Kyle. Hello, Nah. Hello, Andy. Hello, Brandon. Hello, MGV. Flip Speed. Down the Goat. Hello, Colin, Chris, Rich, Leanne. Epass, Lauren, Sam. How's everyone doing? Let me just move this down here, move this over here so everything's all good. But yeah, how is everyone? Hope everyone's had a good, successful day at the charts. First proper day back at the charts for 2026. And it's been a pretty interesting day. So off market open, we did have some, it was really, really nice. If you were on last night's live, we literally called it perfectly. And then there was some nice price action, but unfortunately, the past 3-4 hours have just been pure sideways, but we'll break it down. We'll see what's gone on and we'll come up with a plan going forward. If you're on the live earlier on today as well. So the live last night, we literally called market open pretty much to a T. And then if you're on the live earlier on today, we were on about this area of resistance here, which I marked up on that live earlier. And we just haven't been able to break above it. We were right in not taking the sell from up here just because it hasn't really dropped. Again, we didn't really get the confirmations we were looking for that sell. So it's good because it would just been a very choppy trade, which I don't really like. I don't really want to see that. So yeah, let me know how your day's been. Hello, Alan. Yeah, it's been a good day. Productive. Nice, Matty. Hello, Ian. Hello, Lee. XPR. Why haven't you slept, man? Happy New Year to you as well, Zoe. Hope you had a good one. Hello, Raj, Neil, Paul. How's everyone doing? How was your day today? How was Monday? First day back in work for a lot of people. So let me know how your day was. Let me know how your day was at the charts as well. And then for those who are new to the live, we tend to have a catch up, see how everyone is. Then from there, mark up the charts, come up with a plan, and just answer any questions along the way. So if you do have any questions, regarding what I'm doing at the charts, regarding trading in general, regarding the private group, whatever it may be, just drop them in the comments, and I'll drop them in the chat. And I'll happily answer them. What's Aaron saying? Set the wrong lots. Oh, that's Aaron. That happens to us all at one point. But once that's a mistake that once you do make it, you shouldn't really make it again, setting the wrong lots. Just make sure when you're entering a trade, there's just a lot of patience there. On the live earlier, I was looking for a sell from this level, and I wasn't, you've just got to be super, super level-headed with it. Don't rush. There's no need to rush, okay? If you miss the trade, it is what it is. You didn't lose money. You didn't make money. It is what it is. Just super patient. You don't need to rush. And when you're entering a trade, make sure you're using the correct lot size. Have a little checklist, okay? Stop loss. Good, I've got that in. What am I risking? Okay, I know what I'm risking. Okay, what's lot size? Make sure you just double check everything before entering the trade. It's definitely worth it in the long run. What do you mean the 3 pointers? I don't know, man. Honestly, just could not drift off last night. I even ended up last resort into 300. XVR, that's a lot. That'll knock you out, that will, surely. Once you get past that point of sort of not sleeping. I was up and down last night just because it was quite good price action. I did give this trade earlier on in the group, so I gave the exact buy from this bull flag here, which obviously ended up playing out beautifully to the upside. I gave the signal for that in the group, and that was quite an early trade. So, but yeah, things were just looking good. I think the bias was very, very clear, so that's why I was up for that. Nice hoodie. I appreciate that, Blitzfeed. Hello, Chris. Hello, Katie. Send a bit. You can't, Red. You can't send pictures in the YouTube chat, but you can drop them to me on Telegram, mate. Actually, yeah, that was like 6, 7 in the morning here for me, and so like I had been up that entire time. One thing is, once I finish my live, it's about 1, 2 in the morning here, and then there's certain things that I've got to do after the live as well, so it sleeps a bit ropey. Okay, take care, XPR. Have a nice shower. Hello, Nisi. Hope you're doing well. Hope Beans is good as well. You're going to miss the trades, people rush, but best to get a slightly later, but make sure everything is correct. 100%, Tony. 100%. There's plenty of trades every single day, even if you're trading one pair. There's a lot of setups that come and go each day. You don't need to rush, okay? Rushing will lead to mistakes, and mistakes can be costly. So just don't rush. Be patient. If you miss a trade, it is what it is. You might have missed a loser. You don't know. So just let it go. You can't upload photos in the YouTube chat, mate. Hello, Lee. Sleep these days? Yeah, I don't know. What time is it for you, Brandon? Brandon's in Thailand right now. I think it's like 4 a.m. Is it? Have you ever seen... To be fair, yeah, I'm now. You did label up. Your entire chart was high volume nodes. Your entire chart. I did send you a message about it. Keeping on higher time frame, high volume nodes. There's still a lot of them. That's absolutely fine. The lower time frame, high volume nodes, they're on the lower time frame, so they're not actually that high volume. And it's nice to be able to see price action as well. That was really funny. That was. How can I get you? This is one of one. This is at the next meetup. If you guys like, I did bring some shirts to the last meetup, some ColezTrades shirts, which are really nice. Actually, I do wear them a lot. I'll bring some hoodies as well for the cold weather. It's quite cold here now. Like in my apartment, even with because like aircon's on and it's cold outside, it's actually quite cold. So, yeah. He called the sell range on the live yesterday, which hit soon after Asia Open. Price dropped by about around 4.356, and then went up. You mentioned on the US call yesterday and took a scalp. Nice pull. But how did you know to come out before it went back up? So, Paul, when so are you on about this? Are you on about this level here? Are you on about this sell level here? Yeah, full time. It looks like a bull flag, but again, just insane consolidation. This could be seen though as gathering buy pressure before a further move to the upside. So just being patient. Not many confirmations right now. Okay, good, Steve. Sounds good. Snowing here. Can't be that cold. Yeah, it's definitely not snowing here. Definitely not. So much. Okay, nice. Let us know how you found it, Darren. And then, Darren, you should be back in the Discord now as well. Yep, so, Paul, this did have a nice reaction, and it depends on where you put your stop loss, because obviously if you put a wider stop loss, this could be running, 0.6, 0.7 R. And just once you have a move in your direction, just reducing that risk, fairly soon. And there's a few ways to reduce risk. It doesn't mean closing the full position. It can be taking partials and moving that stop loss down. Just moving that stop loss down. The goal of a trader is to conserve capital and reduce risk. We always want to reduce our risk. So once you see a move like this, which is a fairly, decent move away from the level, you want to be reducing that risk and moving that stop loss down. And yeah, so I was in buys from down here on Friday, which did do very, very well. And then this sell position here, I did get into, and I reduced my risk, but it still did hit stop loss for me, and I did lose out on that position there. But again, because I reduced risk, it wasn't a very big stop loss. And then up here, like all of the profits from this position and this position, like more than quadrupled the loss from this, so it's absolutely fine. But just reducing that risk when you're in profit is good. Is a good idea to do. This bull flag is really is really extending out. I'm gonna remove this fib now so it's a bit clearer. There we go, perfect. All good, Darren. All good. Newbie here, is what you're talking, taking partials, me moving stop loss. Ryan, first off, welcome. Great you're asking questions straight off the bat. Really, really good. So when I mean taking partials means taking part of the position off the trade. So let's say you enter a trade with 10 lots. Okay, taking partials would mean closing, 2, 3 of those lots when you move in your favor. Then, once it moves more in your favor, closing a bit more, you're closing part of your position, okay? And why is this? A, it's to lock in profits soon. We want to lock in profits. And B, it's to reduce risk. Because if you go on to hit stop loss, obviously it's with a smaller position size, so your risk is going to be reduced. And then another way to reduce risk is moving that stop loss down. Now, something I can't remember if I put it in the private group or I spoke about it on a live, but when you're moving stop loss, a lot of people just move stop loss to break even. And when you're first starting, moving that stop loss to break even and getting it to break even as soon as possible, not as soon as possible, but fairly quickly, is a very good idea, because then you're in a position where you can only make money. You can't lose money, okay? Which is an amazing position to be in as a trader, okay? But a lot of time where you've entered might not be a good place to put your stop loss, okay? And it might be better to put that stop loss a bit below the low that you formed when you got into those buy positions. That might be a better place to put stop loss. Yeah, you've got a bit more risk. Your stop loss isn't fully covering, it's not a break even, so you can still risk a bit of money, but it's in such a better position. So that's also a good way to think about it. And also, something which I spoke about, not on today's live, not on last night's live, but the previous live, where basically I pulled up a screen recording of an exact trade that I was taking. I was in the back of a car and I was taking this trade. And what I'd do is I'd take partials, move my stop loss just under the low. It's not a break even, but because I've taken partials, if it does reverse to stop loss, the partials and the loss counter each other out. So it's actually, I'm in a risk-free trade with a better stop loss position. So that's a good idea as well. Maybe if like a good thing to do is if you do want to move your stop loss to break even, taking partials off the table quite soon, and then you can move your stop loss not to break even, but like above that low. You're still in a break even trade, but you've got a better stop loss position. Hope that makes sense. And again, guys, let me know if you've got any questions, and I'll happily answer them. What's that, Matty? Max, thoughts on 17 to 19. I will probably mark that golden pocket up, Shay. Looks nice. I mean, we've got this previous low here, previous lows here. So I will most likely mark that level up when I do come to put my levels on. All good, Ryan. And Ryan, if you've got any other questions, I feel like I might have overcomplicated that answer a little bit. So if anything doesn't make sense, mate, just drop another question, let me know, and I'll happily run through. Above the, I just need a drink. Above the current 0.618, where my mouth goes dry because I talk. I don't stop talking. Above the current 0.618 we're at, we would have the 0.786s. I don't have many other levels marked above or around that level, though. How do we calculate trades above where we are? I'm Nate. If it's difficult to find areas of resistance above a level, then that shows there's not much resistance above that level. So look for buy positions instead. After, I see this happen a lot in the group and in the trading space as a whole. When price of any pair moves up heavily, a lot of people try and then look for sells instead of buys, okay? When price has moved up a lot, it's got a lot of momentum. It's like a moving bus. Don't try and get out in the way of that bus. Try and get on the bus and let the bus carry you the rest of the way. And I see this happen time and time and time again. When price is moving up a lot, okay, it might feel like, it's got to come down soon. It doesn't have to do anything, okay? It really doesn't. It can just continue to go up in that direction, like for a very long time. So try and get in on the trend. You know, the trend is your friend. And currently on the higher time frames, gold is in a bullish uptrend, higher highs and higher lows. On the midterm time frames, higher highs and higher lows. On the lower time frames, higher highs and higher lows. On pretty much every single time frame, gold is bullish right now. So keeping that in mind, we do still have this gap all the way down at market open, which the market tends to want to fill, as well as this very nice level as well. So that's something to keep in mind as well. When putting fib markup on charts. So golden pocket is, the relevance of the golden pocket is basically it's the strongest zone of a Fibonacci retracement level. Now, why is this? So the Fibonacci retracement, which looks like it's this tool here, when you drag it on your chart, put it on the wrong point there. When you put it on your chart, you get these levels. Now you want to put it from a low to a high to get areas of support and a high to a low to get areas of resistance. What's the best way to learn fibs? Just marking them on the chart, just putting them on the chart, and then putting where you pulled them from and where you pulled them to, putting them in the Discord or sending me a message with them in and seeing if they're correct. If they are correct, great, do another one. If that's correct, do another one. If it's not correct, then go away, do it again, come back, it'll probably be correct. That's the best way to learn it. You can learn how to do fibs nigh on perfectly just by trying to do it, getting other people's opinion, either mine or in the Discord we have as part of the private group, and then you can learn them very quickly. And then the relevance of the 0.618 is basically, if we look at a bell curve, this comes up a lot in economics, bell curves are everywhere. There we go. So this shows, if this is a bell curve, it shows the distribution of pullbacks when we're in a trending market. And majority of the pullbacks come in this zone here, okay? So if price is making higher highs and higher lows, majority of pullbacks, so this is a pullback here, this is a pullback here, this is a pullback here, majority of them pull back by this percentage here. And this percentage is between the 0.5, 50% retracement, and 0.786, the 78% retracement. So we can say with the 0.618 that most pullbacks, if we were to put on the 0.618, oh God, I can't, it's really hard to draw, 618, okay, excuse the bad drawing. But if we were to say that that's the 618 there, we can safely assume that majority of pullbacks, which result in a continuation, come around a 61.8% retracement in price. So it's a very good area to look for positions if you anticipate the trend to continue. That's why fibs are really strong. So yeah, it's good to know the why behind things. I hope that makes a bit of sense onto why it's actually relevant at the charts. This is astronomy. Okay, this is not. Just look for support and resistance levels. If this is hard for you, you can try fixed range volume profile. Yeah, 100%. I love fixed volume range. I use it all of the time. Supply and demand. Do you trade trades without golden pocket as part of confluence? If there are a lot of areas of support resistance at a certain level, so for example, if we've got like a high volume node, naked point of control, previous high or previous low, then I will take a trade that doesn't have a Fibonacci level in it. But vast majority of my levels do have some sort of Fibonacci retracement in them, just to highlight to me that it is a nice pullback. all good like always. And if you do have any other questions, guys, don't hesitate to drop me a message and let me know. I've seen a lot of members of the group today killing it in C.Arg section as well. C.Arg section, by the way, is more like institutional approach to macro positioning, basically. And so it's like really, really high level fundamental analysis used, like time-based analysis used to get very accurate entries. It's very, very, very good. And highly, 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 highly recommend having a look through, especially as free resources as well. But I've seen a lot of members killing it with that today as well. A lot of members caught the short on gold, which was pretty amazing. So most prop firms in the trading space, the vast majority of them are crap. And they come with, a lot of them come with challenges. And so they say, okay, you've got to trade for this amount of days. You've got to make this amount of percentage, and you've got to follow these strict rules. A lot of them come with consistency rules. And it's very, very, very unrealistic in a lot of cases to actually follow those rules and hit that profit target consistently without over risking or doing something which isn't congruent with long-term profitability. How the private funding service that we have inside the private group it differs is it doesn't have any of those rules. So there's no consistency rule, there's no minimum trading days, there's no required percentage to hit, it's instant funding. So that's the big difference there. And the rule which a lot of people get caught up on the consistency rule of a lot of prop firms. And don't get me wrong, most of the time that's there as a basically an excuse to cancel your payout. But I think one of the worst rules on props is the minimum trading days. Now, forcing you to get into a trade where you don't want to trade for that day. What happens if the market just isn't giving you good opportunities? You lose the account. That seems quite unfair. So I don't like that rule either. Max, do you have set time to start adding to trades, or is it an objective thing? Mark, once the trade's running in my direction, I'll add to the position. I don't add to every position, but most of them I do add to them over time. It isn't a set time thing. It's just when it's a good opportunity to. If the trade has moved in my direction and then it's pulling back a bit, the idea has been proven correct, so I want to add to the position. For those who, by the way, if you are enjoying the live, double tapping the screen, liking the live does help spread it around. For those who haven't heard that before, basically a lot of the time losing traders add to losing positions, winning traders add to winning positions. Okay, if you've got a business and it's losing a lot of money, do you want to double down on that losing business? Probably not. Whereas if you've got a business that's doing well, do you want to double down on that winning business, reinvest the profits, and keep going? That is basically how I view winning and losing trades. If a trade is losing, my idea has basically been proven incorrect. I don't want to add to the losing position. Whereas if the idea behind the trade is correct and I'm in profit, then adding to a winning position is actually a very, very good idea. And we can just inverse what losing traders really do. Losing traders tend to add to losing positions. Therefore, what we can do is add to winning positions, and it works very, very, very well, especially if you've got a clear bias and a good idea behind the trade. Hello, Jordan. Hello, hello, hello. Appreciate your comment on Venezuela on Saturday. It's done what can they do against US, but given China's comments on what US has done, wondering what's your thoughts. What did China say exactly? I think I saw an interview with a Venezuelan man in Venezuela, and they were like, "Oh yeah, China's trying to be nice, and this person's trying to be nice." They were all there to get Venezuela's oil. Like, no one's trying to at the top. No one's trying to be like super nice. Everyone they try and be perceived as being nice, but everyone's just trying to get the oil in Venezuela. That's basically it. But what was said exactly, Eve? I agree with Max. My prop player was denied today and account terminated immediately. Apparently I traded on news day, but don't think I did. Need to find another way to buy a fund now. That's, yeah, Graham, that's not good at all. And yeah, the news trading as well. It could be very, very, very light news as well, which you account for. I mean, I wouldn't recommend trading news, but yeah, it's just another thing. No one country should be the world's... China said no one country should be the world's policeman. If China was in a position where they could be the world's policeman, they most likely would. I mean, it's easy to say when you're not in that position. Yeah. Yeah, I think if China was in that position as well, they'd probably do the same thing. And China and Russia have told the US to return him. Yeah. I don't know how that's gonna go. Anyone likes it, but no EU country can say it as other than Poland. No one has a decent defense force and would fold in a day without US support. 100% agree. 100% agree. And one thing is, I do a lot of the time people forget when discussing sort of world politics. The US has the craziest military in the world. Okay. They are a bit of a bully, and they can be. And that's just the way the world works. Like, you know what I mean? They can start a coup in a country and replace the leader with someone who is more in line with their policies and who says yes to them. And there's nothing really anyone could do about it. And so it's just, a lot of the time, it's just the way the world is. It's been like it for a long time. And yeah. Yeah, because now China could invade Taiwan. I've seen a few things with that. It's definitely a very sensitive situation right now. Max, I have to say, you called an absolute banger last night, and you didn't start. Appreciate that, MC Zach. Yeah, the Venezuela thing is... It's definitely an interesting situation, and I think it requires... you to look into it a lot and understanding. I say this all the time, there are two sides to every story, okay, including this. In the world, there's no good guys and bad guys. I mean, I was going to say everyone's bad guys, but it really is very, very grey. There's no right and wrong. The world is a very, very, very grey area, and if you think something is completely, they are the complete good guys, and you disregard the opposition, then you're not doing the topic that you're talking about, due diligence and justifying it enough. The world is a very, very grey area. Very grey. I'm feeling a bit better now, Evie. A bit sniffly, but feeling good. Aaron. But yeah, guys, let me know if you've got any questions, and we'll get into market the charts. But I'm intrigued to hear. One thing is, I'm intrigued to hear you guys' opinion on the sort of Venezuela situation. I think a lot of people are looking at it. A lot of people are seeing different content. Depending on what side of the political spectrum you're at, you're going to be sent different content on the situation. And so it's intriguing to see differing people's opinions on that situation. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. 6K, I think, is... look, if the world just continues to be as turbulent as it is now, especially with what China, Russia, US, all of that's what's going on there, look, it's not unlikely that it will hit 6K. We've not really slowed down at all. There's a few cracks in the armor, but it's not too bad. And again, one thing is gold. We look at it in terms of US dollar. If this whole Venezuelan thing goes through and everything's just sweet as daisies, then the US can control, is putting themselves in control of Venezuela, and they're going to basically start exporting a ton of the oil there, and then that can strengthen the US dollar, which then won't be as good for gold, so that could result in a pullback. I did write about it in the private group earlier on today. Yeah. But on the other hand, Zoe, again, two sides to every argument. The guy Mahal Moro, whatever his name is, he did lead a quite malicious dictatorship in the country, and a lot of people in the country did want him out. that's another side to the argument. From a trading point of view, a stable world will dull the market. We need a bit of aggro to spice things up. Agree, Mark. We thrive off volatile conditions. We need volatility because that's where we profit. Which sounds bad. Lee, if you want, it would be sell though. If oil supplies increase a lot. Not if you already have an account, Andy. It's a 20% bonus if you already have an account with them. It's the same for all the big countries: China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Russia, Ukraine, USA, Venezuela. They're all up to it. Yeah, I mean, whatever you see in the news, everyone tries to act, nice and good in the news, but in reality, I mean, bottom line on this whole situation, on Venezuela and everything. Me, you, everyone, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We're not in those big meetings, so we don't really know what's going on. We know what we're told. And so that's just it. I think having a very extreme opinion on it and really being for one side, there are two sides to the story, and you're only being told what, they're allowed to tell you. Yeah, exactly, Raj. With why Trump went in, I think everyone can see that. That's true as well. Another side for that argument. Yeah, it might be. Look, there's two sides. Trump might have just gone in there to remove a dictator and gain control of the oil and just, break a lot of international law. He might have gone in there to be a nice guy and get rid of a dictator in a country and help them, invest a lot in the country with their oil and turn it into a thriving nation and build a long-term partnership with them through oil. There's two sides. In reality, Venezuela's in a very awkward situation because it's between two massive boulders. Well, China, Russia, US. It's kind of in a bit of a sticky spot. Lee, you have to drop me a message on that. I believe it's 1,000 is the max 100% bonus. Like always. Aaron. Look, Eve, there's two sides to, again, I'm going to say it, there's two sides to every story. No matter what, there's two sides to every story. And so he might be doing it for his own selfish reasons. He might be doing it for other reasons. We don't know. And so, yeah. Bottom above. Yeah, I mean, it's dropping now. We'll zoom in. Of the truths. Money and power, I mean, that's the reason politicians become politicians. Of Trump moving on Greenland, that'll cause a problem with Europe. I mean, I don't think we're through with the turbulent times. I mean, it's still going. I don't know whether I saw it correctly, but I got a notification that Trump was parading I can't pronounce his name, the president, around New York with the van open, like parading him around, doing like a purple walk around the New York City in a van. I didn't know if that was like Maduro. I didn't know if that was actually happened or what. Yeah. Look, I don't know how political we can get on YouTube, but the Epstein stuff is crazy as well. I mean that they have an act in the US. It's called like Freedom of Speech Act, or no, it's Freedom of Information, and so you can request information off the government, and they have to give it to you. And people were requesting information on the Epstein files, and it would come back to them saying, okay, this is going to take 63 years to get to you, or something absurd like that. And then they said they would release the files as well, and they released the files, but hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages were just blacked out, which is obviously really not good. And they said in previous interviews that they wouldn't withhold, they would only withhold victims' names, not other people's names, but now they're just withholding everyone's names. That's a huge rabbit hole, that is. Huge rabbit hole. Flit speed. Since back in Dubai, I haven't really been driving much though. So yeah, we'll see what the rest of the month holds. That STO you had did look very, very nice. Let's go. Yeah, Eve. I think that's. I'm seeing some messages come through, and I'm thinking in the back of my head. Wait there. I don't know if this is. We're on about trading. I don't know whether talking about the Epstein files is a good idea. I want to keep the YouTube's going quite well. I want to keep it up and running. Yeah, that could be good, Eve. Actually, I'd really like that, Eve. That's a really good idea. I like that a lot, because I'm super interested what goes on around the world. I love looking at what's going on, especially with big events like this. I find extremely fascinating. So, and we've had a lot of things like this in the past few years. I mean, with Ukraine, the Gaza, Palestine stuff, and all of that stuff. So there's been a lot of very, I don't know an apt word to describe it, but some very interesting geopolitical events that could result in a great conversation. Yeah, Eve. It's getting very interesting, definitely. But I think Eve, that's very good, because all of these events do impact us, daily, very, they impact us as traders. Like, we need to know more about these, and having a good perspective on the world and a good understanding of what's going on in the current world you're in. Not only is it important outside of trading just to know what world you're in and understanding what's going on, but also from a trading perspective, it's key to understand this information and understand both sides, and understand how this could impact the future of whatever you're trading. This is definitely important. It's going to crash this year and crypto go up. We'll see what happens. I'll be more than happy for crypto to do anything. It's just been sideways for what feels like months, so I'll be happy for crypto to do anything. But yeah, let's see what's going on. So currently we do have a bull flag forming on gold. Very tight consolidation on this bull flag. Still is a bull flag, but again, like, this just awful price action the past few hours, awful. So let's see what we can mark up and see what's going on. So I do have this buy level down here, which does look very nice. I'll move this across a bit so it's a bit more in line with everything. And then the most obvious fib to pull from this low to this high. Then let's put on some daily opens. Let's put on some, okay, we do have a high volume node in that area as well. Previous point of control, the point of control was there as well. Oh, we've got VWAP there as well. Okay, that's quite nice. A lot of volume at that level. Let's move this across here. Okay, perfect. Golden pocket plus, what was it? High volume node plus VWAP. Boom. Made a long time. No, see, I stopped trading months ago. This is the demon that oil got. Ah, nice. Welcome back, mate. How you doing? How was Christmas? How was New Year? Hope you're doing well. I remember. Good to have you back, mate. Okay, let's move this to green. Boom, boom, boom. If you do have any questions regarding what I'm doing at the charts, then please don't hesitate to let me know. yeah, this looks good. This looks good. Can you move the chart? Can you move the charts to one side, as I can't see the figures on the right hand side? Okay, well, should be able to see them now. How's life? Happy New Year. Appreciate it. Life's good. Busy. Moved around a lot over Christmas, seeing family and friends and everything like that. But back in Dubai now, feeling good. It's been a good start to New Year. It's very crazy here for New Year. The celebrations like every day. There's still celebrations for New Year going on right now, which is just crazy. And Christmas here is really, really crazy. So that's been really good. Obviously, towards the end of December, things slow down in trading. You know, liquidity thins and everything like that. But now things are ramping back up and looking good. Looking good. Still Dubai, yes, still in Dubai. I did go back to the UK over Christmas though. Yeah, see family, see friends. It was really nice. Freezing cold though. But yeah, it was good. Went to a couple places in between. And yeah, but spent Christmas in the UK and then New Year's in Dubai. New Year's in Dubai is just crazy. I appreciate that, mate. I appreciate that, mate. But how about you? How was New Year? Can you go back over the high volume node high volume node on the left you just marked up, please? Yeah, so the high volume node here, basically, if we pull up the session volume profile, which is basically the volume profile for the current day, we can see that we had a spike in volume here. So we can see there was a spike in volume here, a spike in volume here, a spike in volume here, and then a little spike in volume here. So this spike in volume lines up perfectly with the golden pocket that we just marked up. So, and it was actually a previous point of control for today. So it's not the point of control for today, but at one point today, it was the highest volume node of the day, if that makes sense. And then also we've got VWAP. So VWAP is this blue line here, resets at the start of each day, volume weighted average price. And where that resets at the start of each day is a nice area of support. So that lining up there as well is really, really good. Let me move this over. And by the way, guys, if you are enjoying the live, double tapping the screen, liking the live does help spread the live out. And if you are new to the live, drop a message, say hi, definitely get involved. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'll happily answer. Working 2 jobs now. Oh, what 2 jobs do you work? It's good that you're working, like grafting hard. That's good. It'll pay off. What's the 2 jobs? Slightly different to yours. Cheers for clearing. All good, Jordan. Nice, Carl. Look forward to having you, mate. Should be good. And yeah, any trading questions, I'll happily go into detail. Let me remove this. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Okay, so got a nice buy level here, lines up with 0.886, 0.786, golden pocket, and then this gap here. We did gap up on market open, so the market tends to want to refill these gaps. So that's something to look out for. This here, I don't really want to get into a position here because low volume. So in this zone here, I'm not going to want to take any positions in this area because we can see we've moved through this zone very quickly. That shows to me that there's not many orders in that area, so I'm not going to want to get into positions in that area. So that basically counts this this sort of area up here out. So I don't want that. And then let me just remove this. And then up here, we've got this golden pocket high volume node VWAP, lines up with this previous low here where we previously bounced, and this sort of resistance here, and then this previous high here. Golden pocket high volume node VWAP level, very nice. And then we are currently at an area of resistance right now. Trend line, golden pocket, previous lows. We've been at this area of resistance, feels like all day. We just can't seem to break it, can't seem to do anything with it. Just very, very tight consolidation to the sideways. We have formed a bit of a bull flag though, which does normally indicate a continuation to the upside. So not much confirmation right now though for that breaking up. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that and see how things go. Or do you minus 3 lines? Zoe, so the VWAP that has 3 lines, if you go into the settings, you'll find the middle line is the actual VWAP, and then the 2 outer lines are normally 1 standard deviation away from VWAP. So standard deviations are used a lot in trading, and that which you're talking about, the lines above and below the main VWAP is a standard deviation. It's 1 standard deviation away from VWAP. A lot of people use this in a ranging market because VWAP, which is our average volume, price normally returns to VWAP because there's a lot of orders there. The market likes orders. So when we move away from that VWAP, normally a standard deviation or more, it can be a good area to look for sells, so a sell back down to VWAP. If we go 1 standard deviation below VWAP, a lot of people will look for buyers and buy back up to the VWAP. So that's why that's there. It's great in a ranging market. I don't really use them though. Has been all day. Yeah, Aaron, it really has. Yeah, this is a 12-minute chart, Dean. I managed to get a cheeky sell from the top level, but barely any movement. Yeah, I mean, if you got that entry, really nice, Jordan. Like, there's definitely, like, opportunity there. But, I mean, on the live earlier, I was looking to take sells there, and there just wasn't much confirmation. It was, and I'm happy I didn't, because that chop is just so annoying. I mean, when you're in a trade and it's just chopping around your entry, it's just like, it's like that meme when you're poking a bear. Can it do something, please? Does mean your gap won't be filled anymore? No. What? How did you get to that pay? Pay the gap will be filled, but when no one knows yet. I was watching it like a hawk. My eyes started hurting. I mean, if you were looking to take sells from that level, you would have. Yeah, I can imagine your eyes are very strained today, just because it really hasn't moved. Okay, nice, Andy. Really nice. Been along for ages from 436. Very nice. Please give me a rundown of how you think market's gonna play out. I was in the shower. Lamau. XPR. First off, you're in a really nice nice buy position. That's really good. Right now, we're kind of at just a neutral point. I think price has found some level of neutrality right now. We're at an area of resistance, but you know, with such strong higher time frame bullish pressure, basically we're forming high highs and high lows on the higher time frames. We're forming high highs and high lows in the midterm time frames. We're forming high highs and high lows on the lower time frames. Price wants to continue up. The buy pressure is there. But we've found an area of resistance which just does not want to let buyers take control. So we're just kind of at this stalemate right now, and we've been at this stalemate, and we're clearly in the stalemate because we haven't moved from this very tight zone all day. So I think the best thing right now is to just wait and see if this bull flag plays out or if it doesn't. This will give us a good indication of what happens. If we pull back, then I'll look for buyers and for a continuation to the upside. If we do break to the upside and we do break this bull flag, then that shows immense strength. To me, that shows a lot of strength. So I think now just waiting to see how this plays out and waiting to see who is in control. Are buyers in control? Have sellers took control? What's the story? Right now, we're sort of starting a new chapter. There's not really much on the page that we can grasp. We've got a lot of neutrality right now, so just being patient and seeing what happens, I think, is the best way to go from here. Nice, XPR, but you're in a really nice position, XPR. I mean, that is a lovely position to be in. Works, yeah. That is some, tight range. I mean, if you're scalping this range in the 1 minute, that is a beautiful range to be scalping. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. But, I mean, even Fu Manchu looks so clear. But, yeah. Do you enter positions on flag breakouts with confirmations? Of course. Not on... So, Jordan, I don't enter on breakouts. I'll enter on a retest. So, a breakout can be a great opportunity for institutions to absorb a lot of orders. Okay, imagine you're a big institution at this level, okay, and you want to get out of a lot of your gold buys. You've been in gold buy positions for ages. You want to get into some US dollar because you see what's going on with Venezuela or whatever, and you think that the oil that's potentially going to come into America will strengthen the dollar, and so you want to get back into dollars. Now, you can't just sell all your gold. Like, it doesn't work. That much volume you can't just sell. So what would be a great idea would be to push price up so everyone, all the retail traders and everyone thinks that price is going to continue up. Then you form a breakout, okay? Everyone's screaming, running around, we're breaking out, enter buys. And all of those buys, the institutions are using those to sell, and then the price comes down, institutions are in sells, and price, comes to the downside. And so that's a good way of thinking about it in terms of breakouts. That's why I don't really like breakout trading, because you've got to look for some insane solid volume confirmations to really confirm the breakout, and it's just very risky. I prefer to wait for a breakout. That shows me that, okay, buyers are in control, let's say, and then wait for a retest. That's a lot higher probability move, in my opinion. So yeah, I never trade the breakout. The only two positions I trade from a bull flag or a bear flag or any sort of pattern like this is the lower extremity. So this lower line down here, getting into buys down here. You're getting in on a nice pullback, or let me just get the pen up, or a breakout and retest and getting in here before a continuation move to the upside. All good, Jordan. All good. To be fair, over the past few months, I've posted a lot of bull flags. Now, bull flags on their own, they're not like, they're not just crazy golden ticket thing. There's no golden ticket in the trading space, but they do give you a good inkling on what price is actually doing, the story behind price. It shows buyers were clearly in control. Now we're consolidating to the downside. Sellers can't make a substantial low, and it's basically the buyers regaining their breath before a continuation move to the upside. And so they've been working really nicely over the past few months, really. Seen so many. I mean, I've spoke about so many on a live, which have then gone to break out. I've put so many in the private group, the vast majority of which have broken to the upside. Probably like 90% have played out the way they should. So yeah, they are really good to know about. Nightly, take care. Have a great rest of your night. Make sure to be a great teacher. Your explanations are spot on. I appreciate that, Katie. I'm not tonight. I'm thinking in my head. I'm not explaining things as good as I should. Again, my nose is a bit blocked. I'm coming down with a bit of an illness, so I'm really glad to hear that, and I hope I do explain things in a way which is easier for everyone to understand. And if I don't explain something which is clear to you, then please drop a comment on the live, or you can message me on Telegram. There's a link on the YouTube description to join the public group, where you can get involved in the private group, where you can gain signals analysis courses, full community, private funding service. Like, if you're in the trading space, it's the best place to be. We did signal this exact buy down here earlier on this morning, so it's the best place to be. Jordan, I'm 23. How old did you think I was, Jordan? Hello, Hammer. For the fixed range volume profile, where do you measure from? So I measure across, like, just sideways price action. So we can see here, if we zoom out on the 30-minute time frame, we can see after an impulse move. So there's two ways to really draw fixed volume ranges. One of them is more advanced and requires a bit more time at the charts. So the first one is just analyze sideways price action. We are moving sideways here. You can see we are moving sideways. Pull the fixed volume range across that. That's really it. The second way, which is slightly more advanced, is waiting for an impulse move to happen and then anticipating the consolidation, okay? So after majority of impulse moves, there is consolidation. The markets really are impulse move, consolidation, impulse move, consolidation, impulse move, consolidation. That's what markets are really made up of, those types of moves. And so once an impulse move happens, we can anticipate the consolidation. So we can start to put on the fixed volume range profile in anticipation for us to consolidate. So then we're getting that fixed volume range profile on as soon as possible. So we're getting some really nice levels. I trade gold. With all your knowledge, mate, Jesus. What a man for one man. Was you on one of them kids trading in maths class? I did actually when I was in school. I remember we all had like demo trading 212 accounts and doing that. I remember doing that. But yeah, I'm just one of those people. If I find something that I'm interested in, I completely ignore everything else and just go all in on that one thing. And I found trading a good point, and I just went all in, and I haven't really slipped focus on that. When I did first get into trading, I was, doing a lot of different things at the same time, trying different business models, etc., etc. But always stuck with trading in the background. And then I had a really good meeting with a guy who's, I say that he's like a mentor. He's younger than me, so he's 22. Just unfathomable levels of wealth, okay, insane. And he said to me, you need to just find what you're uniquely good at and just focus on that one thing. What's making you the most money right now? Focus on that thing. And that point, it was trading, so I just sacked off pretty much everything and just went all in on trading, and that was actually my best month then. And so, yeah. Month of trading Tesla. Now that is not for the faint-hearted. That would be, yeah. That'd be a scary month, XPR. I'd finish that month with no hair or grey hair. Yeah, I don't know if I'd make it through that. You've got to have some balls to be doing that. Best way to be. I agree. XPR, I don't know about that. The Tesla, oh yeah, crazy stock. Boom through. I'm, to be honest, I'm on the. Let me just look at it again. I'm on the side of us breaking up from this bull flag and continuing to the upside. That's what I'm sort of leaning to, and I hope we do. So yeah. You're from the UK? Yeah, so I'm from the UK. I'm from just outside of Birmingham, but I do now live in Dubai. I've lived in Dubai for over a year, but I'm to and from the UK. I go back every now and then. So yeah, that's what I'm leaning on the side of us breaking out of this bull flag and moving to the upside. But again, we have found some neutrality in price right now. It's very even between buyers and sellers, so just being patient and seeing what happens. If we break to the upside, then I'll look for retests and I'll look to get into buys there. If we break to the downside, then I'll look for buys at areas of support that we have marked up here and here. This was so nice. This was a position I should have got into, the actual main retest of the neckline, and This was something which quite annoyed me today. The retest of this neckline, I didn't realise it lined up with 4,400. 4,400 is such an important level, as we can see. Huge resistance. When we break above it, we break with substantial volume. When we come back to it, 4,400 psychological level, previous highs, neckline, like it was such a clear opportunity, but I sort of realised that after like 5 minutes, and it had already had a nice move up from there. So that was quite an annoying one from today. Should have really got in that, but we're still in nice buys from earlier on, so it's all good. What is a yam yam? See, I would agree. Okay, nice hammer. A hammer agrees. Full port. If it breaks, would you look for it to also break the resistance above 2. Yeah, I think that's what's holding us in as well. So all of this comes together. This is a level I want to watch as well. So basically, we break out of this, watch this. That's a bit too big of a circle. We break out from this, watch this level here, potentially reject off that, and then get into buys here, and then we boom through that. That's overall plan of what I'm looking for. Yam. A sharp yam. I don't know what that is, Aaron. Darren's got it nailed. Born in God's country. Ah, no. Okay, no. Okay, I didn't know that. So I was like, what is he going on about yam yams? I don't know. If you mark up golden pocket for a sell, for example, if we break above, do you then potentially look for golden pocket for buys? Yeah, so when we break up, I'll pull a fib and look for a golden pocket for buy positions. Overall, I do think it's slightly more likely that we break to the upside, find slight resistance on this level, come back down, enter buy positions around here for a continuation to the upside. However, if we do break to the downside, I'm prepared for that with this level here. So regardless, this is the advantage of marking levels and coming with a plan in advance. If we break to the upside, I've got a plan. I know what I'm going to be looking for. If we break to the downside, I've got a plan. I know what I'll be looking for. So therefore, there's no emotion needs to come into play. There's no, okay, I'm going to do this. I need to do this now. Okay, do I do this? Do I do this? I've got a plan. If this happens, I'll do this. If this happens, I'll do this. Like, it's a lot simpler, a lot cleaner, a lot less stressful, and just a lot nicer. Aaron. Fill the gap from the morning. Yeah, at some point, but it doesn't have to be, super soon. I wouldn't short down to that level, but it is very likely that it fills it sooner rather than later. The market doesn't like gaps. This 68 level, I think it was a 0.786 plus previous value area low. This potential sell level was this value area low from this range here, plus a 0.786. That was the reason for potential sells there. I'll write that on actually, just so it's a bit more clear. What was it? 0.786 plus prev value area low. There we go. Been scalping that range while watching the live. Nice quick 350. Nice, Danny. Danny's smashing it, man. Well done, mate. Fixed range volume profile. So I use fixed volume range profile by pulling them across a range, and then it gives me 3 clear levels to look for. It gives me a value area high, a value area low, and a point of control. Between the value area high and the value area low, so this is the value area high, this is the value area low, between the value area high and the value area low is what's known as the value area, okay? That's where basically price is like, it's found some, again, neutrality. Buyers and sellers are quite happy in that zone. It's quite even. Volume's quite even. I don't want to be trading when it's fair and volume's even. I want to be trading when it's at an extreme point. So therefore, a great plan is after an impulse move. This is the scalping course that I have inside the private group. This is pretty much the system, but on a lower time frame with some better confirmations. But basically, after an impulse move, mark out a fixed volume range. When we come above the value area high, you look for sells. Above the value area high, we fall back into it. This is on the 30-minute as well, so these are quite big moves. Above the value area high, fall back into it. Above the value area high, fall back into it. Above the value area high, fall back into it. Below the value area low, go back up. Below the value area low, go back up. Above the value area high, go back down. Okay? And it does give you a lot of opportunities before we eventually do break out of the range. Now, we will eventually break out the range, but by then, you should have captured some really nice positions. And that's basically how I used fixed volume range profile. Okay, I want to be entering shorts above the value area high if it lines up with my overall bias. And I want to be entering buys below the value area low if it, again, fits with my overall bias. And this was a position which was actually taken on on Friday, and that's because we had a inverse head and shoulders. We were below the value area low, just below it on the value area low, and we lined up with other things. So this was a buy position, which was taken and given in the group. We have slightly broken this bull flag, very slightly. Again, not with much volume. The gold chart link is in the educational resources section, the education section of the private group, and then also if you scroll up in the technical analysis section of the group, it's in there as well, mate. Okay, Gaz, appreciate you. I had no idea what that meant. To be fair, I was so confused then. It's all good, Presh. Okay, guys, I think we'll finish up the live there. We've got a nice little plan going forward. Overall plan, if we move up from this bull flag, then that shows that buyers are really in control. Look for a potential reversal from this potential sell level, and then get in at a retest of the bull flag here. Seems nice. If we break down from the bull flag, then looking for buy positions at this level, and eventually when we break all the way down here, looking for buy positions here. That's my overall plan going into tomorrow, really. So I hope everyone enjoyed the live. Some great questions asked tonight, so I really do appreciate everyone asking questions, and I really hope you had a great start to 2026. Now we're really back in the flow of things. Hope you've had a great time at the charts as well. Just remember, in 2026, I said this on last night's live, but I'll say it again, we've got a full year ahead of us, okay? There's no need to rush and, do everything in the first week of the year, okay? We've got a full year ahead. Patience, okay? Think of how fast 2025 went. 2026 will go just as fast. So be patient, take your time, focus on risk management and trade management. It's more important than any system is. And that's the main thing. So I hope everyone enjoyed the live. If you're not already in the private group, get in the damn private group. It's the best place to learn, profit as a trader with signals analysis, courses, community, private funding service, everything. And yeah, take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your night. See you in a bit, Jason. See you in a bit, Dean, Aaron, Alan, Mark, Katie, Game, 2010 Crazy Horse, K-Pan, Prash, Gaz, Danny, well done for scalping that as well, really nice. Kelly, Ash, Aaron, some great questions tonight as well, Aaron, and you, Jordan. Ian, Dean, Luke, Darren, Hammer, XPR, Hammer again. Take care, guys. Have a